Hello. I would like to share with you today about change, and change from the soul perspective, and change about these times that we are in. Tomorrow is the summer solstice, the brightest, most lighted day of the year. And we are in a tremendous time of change and things moving much more quickly. We continue to get solar flares that are expanding us. The astrological aspects share with us all of the expansive nature that is happening right now. And we are headed for many more changes, individually and collectively, during the coming months. So, it is time to understand change and purpose and learn how to ride with the change rather than resist it. When we look at what's happening collectively, it can feel overwhelming. When we look at our own lives and all the changes, all the loss, and all of a sudden things are so different, it can be daunting. The key to work with change is being present in the moment. The key is understanding that this is with divine guidance right now and that all is well. The change is from one major era to another, the Piscean to the Aquarian. The Piscean was a lot about collectively humans were not ready to govern themselves. And there were a lot of rules, a lot of regulations. And now moving into the Aquarian age, it is time for all of us to start living from the inside out. The future will look very different, even in the next months and over the coming years. This is not something to be afraid of, it's something to be worked with. Many of us cling to the past, including myself, the loss of certain relationships, the loss of doing things a certain way. I'm a person of routine. I like doing things consistently for efficiency. And I have a hard time sometimes with change in certain areas. But all of these past years have been pushing me and pushing all of us to move forward and to listen and to heed the guidance from within. Because as we listen to our soul and we start listening from the inside out, we will have the tools and we will know the way. This isn't a matter of days. This is a matter of ongoing change. When you think about these Piscean times or the Aquarian times, they last for a long time and they take a while to get established. So we're kind of living in both times, the Piscean and the Aquarian, and that's why we're seeing on the world stage so many changes. And what's happening in this change time is old patterns that no longer serve us, old situations, old relationships, old ways of relating. They're in our face right now. They're in our face collectively and individually. As we look across the world, the conflicts that are happening right now are mostly from old wounds that have festered there for years, old situations, and they are being asked to be healed and to move into a new direction. This can feel scary because what is the unknown? The known, what's happening, certainly doesn't look pretty at many moments, and it can feel very vulnerable. And for those of us in the middle of these changes, which truthfully we all have been, we've all had our own internal battles and wars going on, from old parts of us that want to change, old parts of us that do not want to change. I find for myself, when I understand the purpose and I know there is a significant, sacred reason, I'm more willing. It doesn't mean I like it, and we don't have to, but it means that parts of me are more cooperative, and I can direct other parts of me internally, like, come along, we're going to do this regardless. So getting accommodated, getting used to, and accepting the process of change. I have said my whole time of working with clients for many years, the only thing I can guarantee you is change. And it's true. Life is changing, and it's changing right now much more rapidly than any of us have ever experienced before. If we can work with it and see the outcomes, that is one of the things I try to teach the most, is to look at what you get out of these situations. What are the jewels? What are the life experiences? What are the soul expanded awarenesses that come out of these? As humans, we don't like the struggle. We're not being asked to, but to participate and understand it and honor it, because our planet is based on a process called resistance to harmony. And it is in this process of down-to-earth growth, living through things, that we become aware, and it brings light to us and to our soul. So working with this, accepting it, instead of resisting it and dwelling on the past. How many of you dwell on the past? I have parts of me that certainly do. And when I do, it's exhausting, it's depleting, it feels hopeless. When we're always reminiscing about and focused on the past rather than the moment. Not living into the future either, because we're creating that. We don't know what that is. But to create it well for ourselves, being in the moment, accepting that change is inevitable, that it is a good thing. If you reflect, so a good exercise to do is to take some time to reflect on the changes in your life and look at the ones you resisted the most and how freeing they were. How you woke up and said, wow, what was I doing in that situation? Why did I handle it that way? That is how we learn and grow. So embracing these changes, both individually and collectively, because there's a lot of drama, there's a lot of polarization, there's a lot of pointing fingers and judging right now out there, and probably inside of each of one of us as well, because these processes get messy and we don't like certain aspects of ourselves. And the more we resist it, the worse we create it. I want to remind you that we are all the co-creators of these times. And those of us who are more conscious right now and more aware and more lighted are the pioneers. So adapting to these changes, working with them, helps collectively what's happening. Not to want just harmony and peace, because that is not change. Is it the outcome sometimes? Absolutely. Are they key points? Absolutely. But the process, we forget how difficult transformation is, or we'd like to forget, at least. Sometimes we don't, but we'd like to forget how difficult transformation can be, and yet how freeing, how awakening, and how creative. So adapting to change takes creativity. And I encourage you all to do creative things in your life. Creativity, creating a meal, as simple as that. Redesigning and moving your furniture around, recreating your living space. Creating in your gardens, creating in earth. Those are exceptional right now for us to be grounded, to connect, because it is in those times that all is well. So get in touch with your creativity. We are the co-creators, and that requires creative participation, which can also be a messy process. And in that, we don't exactly know what we might create. A painter sitting down at their canvas doesn't always know what the outcome will be, but listening, surrendering to it, and then moving forward, redoing, adding to. My experience is most things in my life, and the ones that have been the messiest and the hardest, the biggest outcomes have happened. I have transformed the most. I have written many of you in an email that I am sending out tomorrow about the changes that I have gone through over the last year and a half. They have not been easy. They have taken me to my knees, things that I thought I'd worked on already, and I had, but deepening it both physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, all of that. And coming out of that, I feel lighter and clearer, and I have let go of many things that were not purposeful for me, that I might have resented. That I might have resented in the process, and that I really did not want to go through. It wasn't that I consciously chose it, although many times I look back and say, oh, I really want to change that part of myself, and then the opportunities show up. That's how it happens. And then the work begins. So as we talk about change, I would like to remind you that all is well on the planet, that we are headed in a positive direction, but it's going to require you looking at it. It's going to require you focusing on it. It's going to require you surrendering to it and participating. And it's going to require you looking for it rather than in the past. What has happened with situations collectively or on the planet in different governments that new is emerging? Are you listening to those stories? Are you seeking them out? Or are you getting entranced with the news media as it is, repeating it in sensational ways? Please remember, listen with your whole hearts. Listen to your own self. See through these situations and follow and live in your own realities. There are many different realities happening. Find yours, live in yours, and be with yours. Thank you for listening. I look forward to sharing with you more in the future. Be open, be willing, and change.